Hey, what's up YouTube? In this video, I'll be showing you how to make a kelp shake from the show SpongeBob SquarePants. If you enjoy this video, all I ask is that you hit that like button, as it really does help me out. And if you would like to see any more SpongeBob related content, including past builds, check out the card system and the description below, because that is where my SpongeBob builds playlist is, and I have made so many SpongeBob builds, I'm not going to list them off for you, but trust me when I tell you, there's many builds in there that if you're not seeing them all, check them out. That's the card system and the description below. I bet there's something that you guys would want to make in there. But without any further ado, let's get started. Okay, so to make kelp shake, you don't really need that much space. You need an 11 block area going from left to right and a 12 block area going from front to back. So an 11 by 12, it's not too bad. You also need all of these materials that I have in my inventory / hotbar right now. Please do make sure that you have absolutely every single one of these. We will be needing them all, and once you do have all these, we can begin. And of course, pause the video if necessary, pause the video if you need to grab all these materials, and also pause the video if you do want to make this grid in your world, which I would recommend because it is kind of helpful, but not necessary. Okay, so let's say that you have made this grid in your world so that we can both start in the same position. Well, you're going to want to begin on the front left-hand corner of the grid, and you want to count to the right by 1. And then count inwards by 1, 2, and 3. This is where we are going to be starting this build, ladies and gentlemen. So we want to start off with a single lime green concrete on the floor. From that lime green concrete, do an up left diagonal, like that. Then go up by 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. Then do 2 upright diagonals. That's 1, 2. Then go right by 6. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. And do 2 bottom right diagonals. 1, 2. Go down by 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. And then do a bottom left diagonal, which will connect you all the way down to the ground. So that is the sort of base shape of the bottom of kelp shake. Let me show you what we want to do next. So if we come back to the very first block that we placed on the ground, which was this one, this is where we started off. Well, if in front of that block and to the right of it, you place a lime green concrete, then this next bit's quite easy. You basically want to follow the shape that you just made, the sort of circular shape here. You want to follow along using your lime green concrete, one row outwards and one row inside of the shape, making sure to join all of the lime green concretes together in the corner. In this sort of fashion right here, you can see that we are simply following the shape along that we have made already. And all you have to do is just trace along the inside of the shape. There's not really any need for any sort of measurements or any sort of numbers or anything like that. You should very easily be able to copy exactly that. Now, the next thing we want to do is this. So, the entrance to kelp shake. Nah, we'll do that in a sec. So what you now want to do is you just want to take the empty space that we have here, and one row in front of this empty space, fill in the empty space. So literally like one row in front of this empty space like this, just fill it in. It really should be fairly easy to see what you have to do. Just take the empty space, fill it in with the shape that would otherwise be there. Don't add any more blocks, don't add any less, and you'll end up with something that should look like that. Okay, so now we want to knock out the 2 bottom middle blocks here, okay? Because this is where the entrance is going to be. We're going to knock out this block and this one, and we're going to place an oak door there. We then want to destroy above the oak door, and we want to place a light blue glass in there instead, a glass block, not a glass pane. And we want to destroy left of the door and right of the door, and we're going to put in green terracotta instead. Now going all the way around the door shape, and that includes all of the glass and terracotta, we want to use our green concrete, and we want to trace along the outside of the door shape with our green concrete, like this, to create the entrance. And that is the entrance to Kelpshake. Now, once you have got that sorted out, ladies and gentlemen, and I'm sure that you'll manage to do that without too many problems, we can work on the rest of this. So we now want to come to the back of Kelpshake, and we want to take all of these outer lime concrete blocks that we have laying around right here, and we want to take the original shape and we want to extend it backwards 6 rows using lime concrete. So that's all of the outer blocks, 6 rows. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. And we are going to do this with every single one of those outer lime concrete blocks. And in doing this, we are going to create a lot of interior space at the base of the shop. If you actually wanted to do the interior for this, this is one of the cool things about this build in particular, is there is a lot of room to do it. There is absolutely no lack of space whatsoever. But of course, you do have to do this part first, and this is going to be the base, the foundation. We'll also have to fill the back of this in as well once we have added on all of these lime concrete blocks, and then we can move on. So that is what you want to have. We've added 6 rows behind that base shape. Now we want to take either side, it doesn't matter which one, the left or the right, and you want to, in front of one of the blocks that touch the ground, like this one or that one, you want to, in front of and inwards in relation to that, you want to use your lime concrete to trace along the inside of the shape that we had previously. So this is the exact same thing that we did on the front of Kelpshake. This is literally the exact same thing. So I'm sure that you'll be able to do it, and you'll be very familiar with the concept. So that's what you want to have. You can see just all the way around the inside, joined together at the corners, no big deal. We then want to take all of this empty space, and one row in front of this empty space, we want to fill in the empty space with the exact same shape that would require to fill it in. So no more blocks, no less, just like a jigsaw puzzle, you want to place the perfect fitting shape that just covers in that empty space like that. And that is what you want to have, ladies and gentlemen. That is the base of the build complete. Now, once you have got that all sorted out, we're going to do the middle part of the build, which will require us, I'm pretty sure, it is, yeah, it's yellow concrete. For some reason, I did think that it was yellow terracotta at one moment in time, but it's almost certainly yellow concrete. So grab your yellow concrete, and then come all the way up to the top front of Kelpshake. The top front of Kelpshake, right? You want to locate the middle block at the very top of the build and in the middle, like on the front, like here, and place a yellow concrete in this position, like that, right? You can tell it's the middle because that, like, this is where the door is, yeah? This is the middle. So, like, you can just come up, forwards, that's the middle. You also want to place a yellow concrete block on the left-hand side, middle top of the build, the back middle, and the right middle, if that makes sense. So it should be quite easy to plot each one of those 4 points. You then take each one of those 4 points and you extend the yellow concrete blocks in both directions, like left and right or up and down, whichever way they are orientating. You want to extend them outwards by one either side like this, across the long sides. We then want to join them together in the middle to create a diagonal circular shape like this. And on top of said diagonal circular shape, we want to add 4 additional layers of yellow concrete. So on top of all of these, 1, 2, 3, 4. And we are simply going to add all of these on top. And this is, of course, the middle portion of Kelpshake. This is as this is essentially a giant kelp shake, as in like, you know, the big bottle, this is the part that you would grab, of course. So we are simply adding this. Oh, and in a perfect world, we would also be able to write kelp shake in red letters on it, but we can't because we'd have to have a huge building, and it's not feasible. But that's what we want to have so far, all right? Now, once you have that, we now want to grab our lime concrete, and on top of the left side of kelp shake, take any one of these lime concretes. It can literally be any of them, it doesn't matter which one. You want to place a lime concrete on top of one of these yellows, and then extend the lime concrete to the left by 1, and then up 1, and then the left 1. Go up by 3, 1, 2, 3, and then go right 1, up 1, and then go right 1, up 1, go right by 6, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, and go down 1, right, down, right, and then go down by 3, 1, 2, 3, and then go left 1, down 1, left 1, and you should find that you have made a nice circular shape. Yeah, a lot of this build is circles. I hope you guys like circles. I certainly do. Okay, so what we want to do is we want to take all of this lime concrete and we want to extend it 1 row towards us, coming towards the front of the build. So every single one of these, we want to extend it 1 row towards us like that. What we then want to do, and this is a concept that I'm hoping that you guys are familiar with because we have done it a couple of times already, right? So we want to take this block here, this block on the right, and in front of and to the right of it, we want to place a layer of lime concrete that sits 1 row outside, as in 1 row forwards, and 1 row inside of the build. So kind of just tracing along the inside of the top of kelp shake like that. You guys can see what I'm getting at, right? Like it's the same thing that we've done a few times already. We're just shrinking the build a little bit, and don't let yourself get confused when we get towards like the sides or anything, because like you just want to do that just in case that wasn't completely obvious. It probably wasn't, but that's what you want to have right there. And then we are going to fill the center of this in using our lime concrete, and we want to do it 1 row outwards from the empty space. Once again, to use the jigsaw puzzle analogy, it's just like taking the perfect fitting jigsaw piece and placing it right where it's supposed to go. That's exactly what you want to do. 1 row towards you, just slot it in right there to create the shape of kelp shake. Now, once you have done that, we want to come to the back of the build, and we want to add in total 3 rows of lime concrete coming out of the back of the outside of this. So that's 3 rows, remember. It's going to be 1, 2, and 3. And you just want to take every single one of those lime concrete blocks and just extend them, those 3 rows towards you. Easy as that. I mean, you could just take the outer blocks, but then it gets tricky and stuff. So it's probably best just to take the whole lot. And then we have to just shrink the shape down a little bit. Once again, exactly how we've done quite a few times already. I'm sure you guys are very familiar with this process right now. I mean, I'm sure you guys are basically experts on this. So that's what you want to have. We then, once you have this shape, want to, starting from either left or the right, doesn't really matter, you want to place a lime concrete in front of and to the right of the bottom end lime concretes, and you want to place a layer of lime concrete that sits 1 row inside and 1 row towards you, coming out of the back of kelp shake, just to make the circular shape that you guys are so familiar with. So we want to have something which should look, of course, like that. It's the same as we did on the front. Again, I'm sure that you guys will be able to do that, no problem. We then want to take our jigsaw piece and we want to fill this in. So we just want to place a row of lime green concrete that just slots in perfectly right here, 1 row outwards, to create that nice bubble shape coming out of the back of Kelp Shake. And pause the video if necessary right now. If you need to, just, hit that pause button. Make sure that everything is fine and dandy right there. And once you have done that, we can crack on. So once you have done that, what we actually need to do is we need to shrink the neck of the bottle of Kelp Shake. Well, yeah, that's the best way to describe it. Like, we want to add a row of lime concrete that sits underneath all of these lime concretes here. So what this means is we just want to we basically just want to go all the way around the top of the yellow concrete that we have at the top of the neck of the bottle, and you just want to add an additional layer of lime concrete here, and it is going to shrink the neck of the bottle a little bit, and it's also going to shape the top a little bit better too. So you'll have something which should look like that, and it looks a little bit nicer. It was actually easier to wait on that than to do it a little bit later, believe it or not. Okay, so next thing is, this being a giant Kelp Shake, we want to come all the way up to the top of the build, and we want to grab our yellow concrete. And all the way up at the top of the build, I want you to place a yellow concrete right in the very center at the top of the bottle. Okay, so right in the center, a yellow concrete right at the top center of the bottle. It should be fairly easy to do, right? Just slap it right in the center, easy enough. Place a row of yellow concrete all the way around it, like this. All the way around, in a circle, like that. Then extend only the front, right, back, and left side 3 blocks towards you to create a plus shape. I didn't want you to do it in a circle because that would give us a big square. We're looking for a plus shape like that. I'll give you a moment if you just have to create that. We then have to grab our yellow terracotta, and right in the very middle again, on top of this shape, we want to place 4 yellow terracotta coming upwards. 1, 2, 3, 4. Extend the 4th block to the right one, up 1, right by 3, 1, 2, 3, and place a yellow concrete above, below, left, and right of that 3rd block. And what you will have should look exactly like this, which is just a straw. And that is most of Kelp Shake actually complete. That looks pretty good, if you ask me. Okay, so the next part is going to be us adding windows to Kelp Shake, alright? To make windows, it's fairly easy. Like, you just really need like green concrete and light blue glass pane. That's pretty much all. So on the bottom left-hand side of Kelp Shake, we have a window. This does not have to be precise. It's not a big deal. It's really not. So somewhere on the left-hand side of Kelp Shake, okay, here, we want to decide where a window's going, which means you want to destroy a block on the left side of Kelp Shake, and you want to place a green concrete left, up, right, and down of the block that you destroyed. And remember, it can be anywhere on the left-hand side as long as it fits on the side of it. Place a glass pane inside that empty space. Go to the right-hand side, do the same thing. So somewhere around here, anywhere towards the middle maybe, destroy a block, green concrete left, up, right, down, light blue glass inside of it. It really doesn't matter that much where you put it, as long as you stay away from like the edges really, like, the front and back edges. It will look quite good from these sides. Like, you can see, like, it doesn't have a huge impact on the build, and it's a little bit weird looking on the actual Kelp Shake as well, so it's not so bad. So anyway, once you've done that, we want to come all the way up to the top of Kelp Shake, and we want to do the same thing, alright? So literally the same sort of thing. So like, we want to take the left-hand side of Kelp Shake, the top part of the circular part, destroy a block, and then green concrete all around it. Light blue glass inside of it, just like that. That's all you gotta do. Same thing on the opposite side, on the right hand side, like maybe here, and then green concrete all the way around it, like this. Easy enough. It can literally just be anywhere. I mean, on the top side, you are going to be touching the edge of the shape anyway, so no matter where you do it, there's no way of avoiding that. And you can see it looks quite good like that. The only thing that we have missing is a window. We have a window up here. Now, here's a good place for it. I will actually suggest a placement. You want to place the window about here. Destroy that. Place yourself a glass in there. And this time we're actually going to build the window into, whoops, what am I doing? So, hang on, I think I accidentally, and this time we're actually placing the window inside of the, like, lime concrete. Beforehand, we didn't really do that. We just had the lime concrete, we placed it on the outside of the lime concrete. This time, we've built it in there. And that's all you have to do. It's as easy as that, ladies and gentlemen. That's Kelp Shake pretty much complete. There's nothing else to do beyond this point. So this is what Kelp Shake should look like once it has been 100% fully completed. The only difference between mine and yours at the moment is that I have dug around a little bit, I've added a little bit of sand, and I've also added a path. But that is absolutely nothing that you couldn't do yourself. I just don't know where you're putting your Kelp Shake, what sort of, environment that you want to build around it, whether you want sand there, whether you want, a path. I don't know what you want to do with it, so I've just added a little bit of a scenery to mine. But yeah, that's Kelp Shake, guys. That we've concluded the tutorial. If you guys have enjoyed this video, please do remember to hit that like button. I'd really appreciate that. It helps me and the channel out so much. You've got no idea. Really does help so much. If you enjoy the content, please do consider subscribing to the channel and clicking the little bell next to the subscription button to ensure that you got all my stuff sent directly to your sub box. And if you would like to make any more SpongeBob related builds, and you can see quite a few of them in the background right now, ranging from SpongeBob's house, Squidward, Patrick, the Krusty Krab, the Chum Bucket, Mr. Krabs' house. We have so many builds, guys. I'm not going to go through them all, but check them out in the card system description below. You're looking for the SpongeBob Builds playlist. You'll be able to find that, no problem. You honestly will. Really great playlist. I'm also going to include some other playlists too, if you want to make some little, like, cartoon related builds, modern stuff, some city builds. I'll be leaving links to all sorts of stuff. Card system description below, you'll be able to find it easy. And that is everything, guys. Thank you so much for watching. I appreciate you all so much, I really do. Thank you so much, and I'll see you guys in the next video. Goodbye!